My background starts with a college background in computer science and electrical engineering. I did 4 years in the Air Force, work in electronics, troubleshooting electronics for the B-1 bomber, Avionics back shop. Then I did 4 years working as a civilian, working at the depot. So after 4 years of working at the depot, fixing electronics, using all the different electronic equipment, voltmeters, oscilloscopes, things like that, troubleshooting, even actually getting into the code, there was a code called Atlas. So I used the code to actually help troubleshoot, to repeat test, things like that. I jumped over to the management side as a equipment specialist after that for about 4 years, or 3 years I should say. And that was where I learned a lot of the forecasting methods and a lot of the wholesale supply chain and how that works and how the wholesale is integrated with all of the retails, like all the different strands and what kind of kits they need, things like that. But I was definitely more focused on the wholesale at that point, and I sort of had a wholesale point of view. And then I became a loggy for just over a year for F100 engines, which is basically, to put it in a nutshell, my position was basically the glue that holds things together. So when the equipment specialist would forecast for the future, saying I'm going to need so many demands, the item managers would try to fulfill that demand with whatever means possible, right? Whether that's parts that we have or parts that you can go buy or parts that you can repair, etc. So anytime there was issues with that, I would be the person that has to kind of fix those supportability gaps using different methods such as engineering controls or finding parts that are third party, changing the way that we do business, different technical orders might need to be reviewed for replacement percentages, the whole gambit. I learned a little bit more about the retail side as a loggy as well. But then after that, I got a position as a 1515, and I've been a 1515 for, I think, just over 2 years. So I've been a 1515, and when I first started, we really didn't know what a 1515 was supposed to do, so I kind of filled the slot of doing a whole lot of automation, making things easier for everyone else to build slide decks, to automate their Excel things, a lot of VBA, did a lot of VBA coding, and that's how we started out. Slowly I started trying to automate more and more things because I realized that there's a need for that. But then we formed a flight where we had a single point of isolation for all the 1515s basically on base, at least for the wholesale supply chain. This is where things got kind of interesting. This is where I kind of took the lead role. Well, I took the lead role in our flight because I was a subject matter expert in the supply chain side of things, so I can connect the data to actually real life scenarios and what's going on. I knew where the data sources were located. I knew what they meant. I knew where to find data dictionaries, things like that, and the whole gambit. So I became the SME in that flight, no doubt about that, but then I quickly realized that I was also the technical SME. The people that I worked with, just like any 1515 series that you're going to build up in a flight from scratch in the government, you're kind of throwing engineers together and trying to make it work because this is the first time we're doing this. So most of us did not have any background in big data or data analytics, things like that. So one of the first things I tried to do is I wanted to get away from building slicers and just plain automating things for everybody. So I wanted to try to get truly into data analytics. So I pushed and pushed and tried to get R and RStudio installed on our systems. We finally got that, and I've been teaching people how to use it. And since then, I've been using R and RStudio and R Markdown to not only automate the ingestion and the transformations of the data, the pipelines. I have created the automation of pushing out the reports, throwing them on shared drives automatically on a cadence. So basically, we are at the point where we can truly do some heavier statistics and data analysis. But to get there, we had to figure out the tools we needed, etc. So basically what I'm saying is the data analytics portion of it, I think 80% of that's going to be the data manipulation. At least on my end, that's what it was. And we're just now truly being able to put data together to make it more meaningful. And I have lots of examples of how I do that. So I think that's a pretty good overall view of my career. The first part about decomposing problems, there's a big project.